Here we will be discussing about the external features of a Selaginella. A plant body is differentiated into stem, roots, leaves. These are leaves. Ligule. Ligule picture is not here, and at the end rhizophore. To begin with, stem is a delicate evergreen and profusely branched structure. Now the stem is divided as erect. Two types of stems are there. One is erect, another one is prostrate, which is going to grow attached to the surface of the ground. When the stem is erect, it belongs to subgenus Homophyllum. When the stem is prostrate, it belongs to subgenus Heterophyllum. Now about leaves. Leaves are small. See, leaves are small. They are simple. They are attached spirally or arranged spirally to the stem in case of Homophyllum. They are small, simple, with a pointed apex and have a conspicuous midrib. This midrib is unbranched and their arrangement will be like spirally arranged, densely covering the stem. This occurs in case of Homophyllum. In case of subgenus Heterophyllum, the leaves are dimorphic. Dimorphic in the sense two types of leaves are there of two different sizes, small as well as big one. These are the small leaves in the center. These are small leaves. These are broad or large leaves. Dimorphic. Small leaves are present on the dorsal surface of the stem. If you are going to consider this as a stem, on the dorsal surface, here on the dorsal surface we will be having small leaves arranged, whereas the bigger ones on the ventral side. On the dorsal surface small one, and on the ventral surface there will be larger leaves. So this is an arrangement of leaves in case of Selaginella. At the tip we are going to have, at the tip there will be leaves which are going to bear the spores. Such leaves are called as sporophylls. When the sporophylls are densely compact, that structure we are all knowing, it is nothing but a strobili or strobilus. At the apical region, leaves will be bearing spores. Such leaves are sporophylls. When the sporophylls are compactly arranged, such structure is nothing but a cone or strobili. Now ligules. Ligule is nothing but, if you are going to consider this as a dorsal surface of the leaf. This is the dorsal surface. Back we will be having the ventral one. On the dorsal surface of a leaf, near the base, here near the base, is present a small membranous outgrowth known as ligule. What is ligule? It is nothing but a small membranous outgrowth. Where? On the dorsal surface of the leaf. Where? At the base of the dorsal surface of a leaf. There is a small pit. Pit andre on the sanna jaga. In this small pit there is a formation of a ligule pit. This is called as ligule pit. Here in ligule pit there is a membranous outgrowth. This membranous outgrowth is nothing but ligule. Where? On the dorsal side of the leaf. It may be a tongue shaped structure or it may be a fan shaped structure. Now again ligule is differentiated into two parts, as a glossopodium and the body of a ligule. What is exactly the glossopodium and body of the ligule we will discuss during our internal structures when we go through the internal structures of Selaginella. So for time being, what is ligule? Ligule is nothing but a small membranous outgrowth which is found on the dorsal surface of the leaf at the base of the dorsal surface of the leaf. There is a small pit. That pit we call it as a ligule pit. Inside this ligule pit we will be having this small membranous outgrowth called as ligule. This is actually a vestigial organ. Okay. After ligule it is root, or you can even call it as a rhizophore. Now this structure is nothing but a rhizophore. This structure arises from the prostrate axis. That is prostrate stem, where there is a dichotomy branching. From that point arises this structure called as rhizophore. This rhizophore is colorless leafless, as we can't see any kind of a leaf on that one. It is a colorless, leafless and unbranched cylindrical structure. As soon as the free end of a rhizophore touches the soil, it develops a tuft of adventitious roots. This is unbranched, leafless, cylindrical, colorless. As it reaches these ends, the free end, imagine that there is nothing like a root-like structure here. When a structure like this reaches the free end of this reaches the soil, it is going to produce a tuft of adventitious roots here. This you can see in Selaginella kraussiana. While in case of the homophyllum, a stem, at the base of a stem, you are going to see directly the roots. But in case of heterophyllum, erect cylindrical structure is going to grow, which is colorless and leafless, and the free end of this one is going to produce some tuft structures, root-like tuft structures. So this was a description regarding the rhizophore. Now we will begin with the internal structures of Selaginella. Thank you.